you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. Well, looking at you, give me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat, Brad Gilmore.
And he's joining me right now. We're talking about season 2 of Is It Cake, or as is also known, Is It Cake 2? And it's the new Netflix competition series. And the host with the most joins us right now, Mr. Mikey Day. Mikey, how we doing? Congrats on season 2.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks for that wonderful intro. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You know, here's the thing about this show. And I know you've been talking about it, and everyone can stream it now on Netflix. Is It Cake 2? Actually, let people know exactly. If they've never seen the show before, they don't know what it is, do your best to kind of encapsulate it in a definition for everyone.
Well, it's super complicated. Very complicated. It's based on this kind of viral trend that was happening, started a few years ago, where you see an object and it looks, say a radio or whatnot, and then a knife slowly comes into frame and cuts it. It's like the hyper-realistic cake phenomenon. So the show essentially are these super talented bakers who bake these insanely hyper-realistic cakes. We bring in judges, and they have to kind of guess which of the objects is real and which is cake. It's holding a spotlight up to society. It's making people question societal norms. It's very important, very complicated.
Right, one of the most important shows in human history, but we are enjoying it.
Exactly, but it's very fun, and it's just a fun show too. A lot of people like watching with their kids. Kids really dig it, which is fantastic that they responded to the show so much. So it's a fun show to watch in summer. It's the kind of show where your kids start watching it and you're like, all right, wait, what is this? And then you kind of just get into it and start playing along. So it's very fun. There's a very kind of joyousness to the show too. Yeah. Everyone's very supportive of one another. It's fun. It's silly.
It's fun. It's silly. And what's cool about it too is it combines several different elements. It is a competition reality show. There's a game show element to it, and it's a baking show, all kind of wrapped into one. And in some ways, even like an art exhibition. From season 1 to season 2, what has been the craziest one that you've seen? Like the craziest cake to where you were sure this was the real deal, and then we reveal that it's not.
Yeah, the craziest one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There were some crabs, some giant king crabs they made this season 2, that were pretty great. That was very difficult to tell. I don't know. I feel like every season I'm shocked and even more impressed at what these people can do. And oftentimes the bakers don't even know they can do what they signed up for, because they can choose the objects they want to bake, and a lot of times, they'll make it their choice. And I'm like, how are you feeling about it? And they'll be like, I don't know, I've never baked that, so we'll see. So they're kind of like adrenaline junkies, these bakers.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to have the ability to go out there and execute it. And like you said, to pick whatever you want, because I'm also, as sure as you said, there's been some king crabs and stuff like that have impressed you. I'm sure there's been big swings and misses, right? I mean, that's just kind of the act of it. Was there any one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to me about that, about some of the big swings
Yeah,
and misses.
every once in a while, someone will make something and they're like, I'm not quite sure I made the right choice. It usually sometimes is when the bigger the object is, the more obvious cake is inside of it, and it's just more time consuming. And oftentimes, most of their time will go to the actual baking of the cake, and they have less time to kind of paint it and work on the physical aspect of making it look like the object. So that's where I feel like sometimes there's like misses, is when they go for something huge. Like there was someone was making a gym bag this season, and they were like, okay, in hindsight, I might not have picked a massive bag because of all the cake that had to go into it.
And as you, the host, like, do you go through this I don't know, almost wave of anxiety for them as you're watching them put these together? Are you empathetic to these bakers?
Especially at the end, it's like almost like cramming for a test in the last 5 minutes. And baking is such an involved, like, long process. So to be screaming at them like 30 seconds, and while they're trying to complete it, I get very anxious for them because they're literally working to the last second. I feel like like true artists, they're never really satisfied. Like they would keep working forever. But I definitely get very anxious because I know nothing about baking, so I do not envy them.
I don't envy them either. Is It Cake 2 is streaming right now on Netflix. You can stream both seasons on Netflix and just have a real fun holiday weekend. And you know what, Mikey? You're such a pop culture fan. We got to talk before on the Back to the Future show that I do. And I know that
baby.
Yeah, man. I have to know your thoughts real quick before.
You sent cool stuff too. That book is fantastic.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I will consume all. I will consume all Back to the Future stuff. I can.
Well, here's my question to you, though, man. Here's my question. This is Back to the Future somewhat related because it's a Spielberg entity, new Indiana Jones movie out. I don't know if you've seen it. If you have, how do we feel about it? If you haven't, how do we feel about it?
Yeah, I've read a lot of interesting stuff about it. I mean, I'm going to see it because it's Indiana Jones. Like Last Crusade is the first one I saw. It was like 89. I was a little kid. It was the first one I saw in the theater, and it like changed my life. I was running around my neighborhood pretending to be Indiana Jones. It was like my first exposure to the character, and then I saw the previous ones after that one. So I'm very excited. Crystal Skull was obviously people have their opinions on it, so it was kind of. Although maybe I did have a moment in the theater where like maybe it's because I'm not a kid that I'm not having the same reaction to it, but I'm hopeful. But I will see it, and I'm going to bring my boy.
Oh, man. Well, I'm excited to see it, man. I'm excited to stream Is It Cake 2. The series is on Netflix right now. Mikey Day, the host, joined us. Mikey, thank you so much for taking the time, man. Congrats on all your success, brother.
Thank you so much. Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. Love you.
Hurry up, tape running out.